This is Access to Experts, where we interview business and professional experts and ask the questions you most want the answers to.
Hi, I'm Jodina St. John, and this is Access to Experts. I could not be more excited about our show today. Our special guest is Alex Mandossian, widely acknowledged as the Larry King of Teleseminars. He's interviewed thought leaders within the human potential movement, such as Jack Canfield, Ivan Misner, Stephen Covey, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, David Bach, and many others. His leading from behind principles and productivity strategies have helped him build an online subscriber base to over 250,000 entrepreneurs, starting from scratch in 2001. His electronic marketing tactics has allowed him to turn his annual income in 2001 into a monthly income by 2004 and an hourly income in 2006, 16 times. His crusade is to teach other entrepreneurs how to turn their annual income into their monthly income in 3 years or less, while doubling the amount of free time to enjoy with family and friends. Alex, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jodina. I'm happy to be here.
Alex, you're teaching other entrepreneurs how to turn their annual income into their monthly income in 3 years or less, which is pretty amazing. And I know that there's many in our audience who are eager to learn how to do that. But first tell us, what's the definition of an entrepreneur?
Well, the word entrepreneur comes from the word entreprendre, which was invented in the 15th century France. Now, the Latin words entre, which is between, and prendre, which is to take, when you put those two words together, fast forward 300 years, and a Frenchman by the name of Jean-Baptiste Say created and coined the term entrepreneur. Now, the true definition means to undertake. This is a very, very misunderstood word because many times people think entrepreneur deals with making money. Entrepreneur means dealing in business. It really doesn't. It means to undertake some lower level of productivity and increasing it to a higher level of productivity, which really means anyone who undertakes any task is an entrepreneur.
So exactly who are the entrepreneurs of the world?
You ready for this? Moms, parents, professionals, nonprofit organizers, teachers are some of the best entrepreneurs in the world because they're undertaking lessons which they are teaching the future and the legacy of our country, of our world. They're taking lower levels of productivity and almost like manufacturing a higher level of productivity by finishing that student and teaching them properly. An entrepreneur is not just in business, it's in every walk of life. Now, anyone who's an entrepreneur believes in productivity and the redistribution of that productivity, not scarcity. And I'll talk about what scarcity means in a moment.
Well, why is productivity important to entrepreneurial success?
Well, the aim of entrepreneurship, truly, in my view, and it's my personal premise, is to take a lower level of productivity and take it to a higher level of productivity. Now, that can be in sales, but it can also be in free time, taking less free time and gaining more free time. Again, entrepreneurship is misunderstood because I don't know very many entrepreneurs who have a lot of free days, but the best ones do. And those who do recover more, and in recovery, they have time to engage in the tasks that accelerate productivity versus just looking at it and diminishing it. Productivity I can define with 5 words. Maximum results in minimum time. Maximum results in minimum time. Now, Jodina, leverage, as far as entrepreneurship is concerned, is maximum productivity with minimum effort. Maximum productivity, which is maximum results in minimum time, maximum productivity with minimum effort. That is leverage. Now, freedom, as far as an entrepreneur is concerned, in my world, is maximum leverage with zero guilt. I think most entrepreneurs still live in the Protestant ethic age or the Calvinist age where the more work we do, the more money we make. I'm of Armenian heritage. And anyone from the Middle East or Indo-European ilk, they still feel that we're coming through Ellis Island and the more we work, the more productive and more profitable we're going to be. But in today's era, with the digital economy, it's not the case. You can have maximum leverage with zero guilt and make more money and have more free time faster, better, with less effort if you are a true and world-class entrepreneur.
Alex, would you mind sharing a few of your productivity secrets with us?
I would love to share some of these productivity secrets. They're really not mine. They're observations that I've seen over the years, and I've implemented them, and they've allowed me to take my annual income in 2001 into a monthly income by 2004 and an hourly income by 2006, 16 times. And it comes down to micro decision making. These are little decisions that are almost invisible. We don't even notice them, but when you stack them up, 100, 200 a day, they make a big difference. In fact, it's a micro decision to have critical thinking time. Let me repeat, critical thinking time, or some people call it intentional thinking. Now, I believe you deserve 12,000 seconds a week. 12,000 seconds is 3 hours and 20 minutes. Now, you take 3 hours and 20 minutes and you divide it into 50-minute segments. That's 4 50-minute segments. Now, why that's so important is 12,000 seconds really adds up to 1.9% of your week. There's 168 hours in a week. And so why that's so important is this is uninterrupted productivity time. You can make flowcharts for your business, you can plan a family outing, you can plan a vacation, or you can just spend time thinking. There's not enough time thinking. I get paid more to think now than I did 5 years ago. In fact, billionaires and multimillionaires get paid to think because of experiential knowledge and empirical knowledge to get more done faster, better, and with less effort. Now, what do you do during the critical thinking time? Well, what I do is I have a countdown timer. A countdown timer. You can get a cheap timer from a houseware store, or I have a very expensive one up on the wall with a little remote control. What's most important is you set that to 50 minutes, and it counts down. And I have 4 50-minute segments just to think, uninterrupted. My children, Gabriel and Brianna, my wife Amy, they don't interrupt me no matter what. Neighbors don't interrupt me. Friends don't interrupt me. I turn the phone off. I turn the ringer off. There's not anyone who can interrupt me because that is my time. That is my sacred time. And it's only 4 50-minute segments. The reason 50 minutes is I personally believe what my backside can't endure, my mind can't absorb. So in these spurts of 50 minutes, which is only 4 a week, 3 hours and 20 minutes a week, that's less than 1.9% of your total week, you end up stacking and making very intense thinking time for yourself. Now, I'm not talking about multitasking. Notice I said stacking. What I mean by stacking is if I am doing research and I'm thinking about an answer to a very important question, or if I'm negotiating with a client, or if I'm planning on a family vacation, I am stacking, meaning I will search on Google or Yahoo, I will do some research online and stack online research with my thought. Now, I'm not spinning dishes as many people do in the air with multitasking. Eating a sandwich, on the phone, looking into my computer, that is disengaged. Multitasking is not sequential. Multitasking is binary. You're either engaged or you're not. So I believe in critical thinking time, I believe in the countdown timer, and I believe in stacking. One of the stacking secrets I have is doing push-ups with Brianna, my daughter, on my back. At 45 pounds, it's a great weight to have, and I'm having daddy and daughter time, and at the same time, I'm stacking my physical fitness with Brianna. Multitasking would be writing an email while trying to answer one of Brianna's questions. It doesn't work, it's disengaged. Now, as far as critical thinking time is concerned, the number one question I get from my students, and there are over 250,000 of them at the time of this recording, is how do you get started? What do you do during these 50 minutes? Well, I approach every single critical thinking time like going to a church or synagogue. It's sacred. And there's a 5-step executive summary. Now, an executive summary is what you see in front of a business plan or marketing plan. It's the only thing that's read before there's more interest in reading the business or marketing plan. For an angel who's financing a deal, or let's say a venture capitalist, the executive summary is that summary. It's the table of contents to a business plan. So why not have a business plan in the form of an executive summary for critical thinking time? Mine is in 5 steps. Number 1, what's my urgent problem? Today, this week, this year. Number 2, what's my unique solution? Again, today, at this moment, this week, this year. Why am I stuck? Why am I stuck with point A, with that urgent problem? Notice, urgent, that adjective is important. Why am I stuck with the urgent problem at point A and haven't found that unique solution, which is point B? Why am I stuck is the third question. And this is a third question you can ask yourself as well. Urgent problem, unique solution, why stuck? The fourth question is, what's the process? What's my process of getting unstuck with my urgent problem, finding the unique solution, and going from point A to point B? That's question number 4. And the final question is, what's my first physical action to take? How do I get off of point A and go in the same direction as point B? The only thing worse than going in the wrong direction is going in the wrong direction enthusiastically. And the executive summary is a great little tool in 5 questions: urgent problem, unique solution, why stuck, process, and first physical action. That physical part is so important. Make a list, grab my mouse, go online, talk to someone. First physical action. David Allen of Getting Things Done, his best-selling book, he taught me that. And I really would like to motivate, inspire, encourage anyone listening right now and watching me to take those 5 steps, because it will make critical thinking time and turn it into autopilot.
So when the President of the U.S. says our future of our economy relies on the imagination of our entrepreneurs, how is that statement relevant to your teachings?
Well, when Barack Obama, President Obama, first uttered those words, I was in a lecture. And the person on stage was Tony Robbins, the personal development guru. And I was there in the front row, you know, within speaking distance, and I could almost touch his, you know, size 16 shoes. And I remember getting a text email on my phone. And my phone was on silent because, of course, I was in the conference hall. And it was from my affiliate manager, Dolan. And he had texted me that quote, and Barack Obama was speaking at the same time that Tony Robbins was, so I couldn't watch both speeches. Now, what that tells me, and what I believe our nation is faced with, is an opportunity. This is the most exciting time in the last 300 years of the United States. Now, I know we're supposed to be in a recession. I refuse to participate in it. If you look back into history, look at our founding fathers. You have George Washington. You have Benjamin Franklin, our first millionaire. What a great entrepreneur he was. You have Thomas Jefferson, who penned and wrote the Declaration of Independence, and you have John Adams. You have many other forefathers and founding fathers of this great country. They were entrepreneurs. They came here from the British Empire, and they were true entrepreneurs, and they wanted independence, and they got it from the dependency of the British Empire. Now, we know the story. Fast forward 100 years, and what do we have? Ellis Island. We have immigrants coming from overseas. Now, Americans have their independence, but the immigrants in the dependent countries in Europe are coming over, and whether they are fighting famine or they're fighting poverty, they come here and they find their opportunity and they become independent. Now, fast forward about 50 years, and it was past World War II when we gave up and sold out on our independence. We had dependency on the corporation. And this was great for about 50 years, and now that's broken. We no longer trust the corporations because we're trusting 1 or 2 entrepreneurs versus trusting ourselves as entrepreneurs within. You know, right now, I think we are in the greatest time in the history of the United States, in fact, the history of the world, because we've gone from independence to dependence to interdependence. Stephen Covey, my friend and mentor, he talks about this in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, how interdependence, that is the level when you have the keys to the kingdom. That's where we are now with social media online. Everything is interdependent on each other. We have a global economy, and what's wonderful about this right now is we didn't have CNN or the internet back in the 1700s or the 1800s or the early 1900s, not even around the year 2000, but in the 21st century, we are interdependent because we can be, and it is the greatest time in our history. Now, our backs are to the walls, and we're being forced into it, from dependence to interdependence. And some of us are kicking and screaming. I know I have, but I had my best year in 2008, and the reason for that is I'm embracing entrepreneurship, and I'm embracing this concept of redistribution versus scarcity. Now, one thing about redistribution, I don't think that there is a scarcity problem. If I'm an entrepreneur and you're an entrepreneur, you don't believe in scarcity. Now, we eat our food. My family, the Mandossians, eat all of our food. But I would venture to say that we as a family throw away more food in a week than a family in Zimbabwe will eat in a year. Now, that's a travesty, but at the same time, there's plenty of food. There's plenty of sweet water that you can drink. There's plenty of wealth. There's plenty of resources to solve all of the challenges that the world is facing. There's a distribution problem, not a scarcity problem. That is a premise of mine. And whether it's hot running water or toilets, you know that the toilet, just having a toilet, that automatically increased the population just because there was sewage. Running sewage made a huge impact when the toilet was first invented. Well, over 1 billion people on Earth don't have hot running water, and half of the 6 billion don't have toilets. And so you can imagine with entrepreneurship, we redistribute those resources, and that's what entrepreneurs do. They undertake, and as marketing entrepreneurs, we can redistribute the wealth. We redistribute know-how through the internet. Google has done a very good job of that, so has Yahoo. We redistribute so that scarcity is no longer an issue. In fact, scarcity-mindedness is going to be obsolete, I believe, in the next decade.
Wow, Alex, I really appreciate the great information that you've shared with us today, and I know there's many in our audience who would like to get in touch with you. How can they reach you?
Well, the simplest way is to become interdependent, and that nice way is go to askalextoday.com, and that is a web page, and you can ask me any question about entrepreneurship. And on the first Thursday of each month, I will answer those questions, and I answer about a dozen of them each first Thursday of the month live on a teleseminar, and they are free. Hopefully your question or anyone else's question will be one of the lucky ones that I answer.
Alex, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure, Jodina.
I'm Jodina St. John, and this has been another segment of Access to Experts with our very special guest, Alex Mandossian.
This has been Access to Experts, where we interview business and professional experts and ask the questions you most want the answers to.